हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आज हम क्वेश्चन करेंगे। चैप्टर है 8th क्लास की हिस्ट्री बुक एंड द नेम ऑफ द चैप्टर इज वीवर्स, आयरन स्मेल्टर्स एंड फैक्ट्री ओनर्स। आज हम इसके क्वेश्चन आंसर्स करेंगे। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्लॉथ हैड ए लार्ज मार्केट इन यूरोप? इट्स आंसर इज a cotton and silk textile had huge market in Europe. Indian textiles were famous for their fine quality and exquisite craftsmanship. Chintz, bandana, extra were some varieties of cloth which had a large market in Europe. Cotton textiles with printed floral design were also liked by the people of Europe. Now, second question is, what is Jamdani? Its answer is Jamdani is the finest muslin cloth on which decorative motifs were woven on the loom, particularly in grey and white color. They were woven with cotton and gold threads. अब आ जाते हैं हम थर्ड क्वेश्चन पे। What is bandana? इसका आंसर है द वर्ड बंदाना इज डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम हिंदी वर्ड बंधाना which means to tie. बांधना, बांधना, बंधाना, बांधना, which means to tie. So, bandana was colored scarf which was produced by tying and dyeing process. Question number 4. Who are the Agaria? Its answer is the Agarias were the iron smelters in India. Question number 5th. Fill in the blanks. A. The word chintz comes from the word chint. B. Tipu's word was made of woods, steel. And the third is India's textile exports declined in the 19th century. Question number 6th. How do the names of different textiles tell us about their histories? Its answer is the names of the textiles tell us about their histories in the following ways. Calico. First point, Calico, when Portuguese came to India for purchasing spices, they landed in Calicut, which is a place in Kerala. So the cloth they took back with them was later known as calico. Second point is chintz. It is derived from the Hindi word chint. It is a colorful cloth which has a floral print on it. Third is muslin. European traders first encountered fine cotton cloth from India carried by Arab merchants in Mosul in present-day Iraq. They began referring to all finely woven textiles as muslin. Now, 7th question, why did the wool and silk producers in England protest against the import of Indian textiles in the early 18th century? इसका आंसर है, as the demand of the Indian textile increased in England for its fine quality and beautiful designs, the demand for the textile of England decreased. So, in order to safeguard their interests, the silk and wool producers of England start protesting against the import of Indian textile. Now, 8th question, how did the development of cotton industries in Britain affect textile producers in India? इसका आंसर है, the development of cotton industries in Britain affected the textile producers in India in the following ways. First point, a huge rate of taxes were charged on imported Indian textiles by Britain. Second, the English took over the markets of Africa, America and Europe, and in return, the demand of Indian textile in these markets reduced. Now, next point is European companies stopped buying Indian goods and their agents no longer gave out advances to weavers to secure supplies. Next point is by 1830s British cotton flooded Indian markets and over a period of time 2/3 of all cotton cloths worn by Indians were made of cloth produced in Britain. And the last point is many distressed weavers wrote a petition in the government to help them. Now, ninth question. Why did the Indian iron smelting industry decline in the 19th century? First answer. The decline of iron and smelting industry was due to the following reason. First reason is the new forest laws of the colonial government prevented people from entering the reserved forests. It became difficult for the iron smelters to find wood for charcoal. Getting iron ore was also a big problem, so many gave up their craft and looked for other jobs. Second point is in some areas the government didn't grant access to the forests, but the iron smelters had to pay a very high tax to the forest department for every furnace they used. This reduced their income. And the third point, by the late 19th century, iron and steel was being imported from Britain. Erythemus in India, ironsmiths. Third point is by the late 19th century, iron and steel was being imported from Britain. Ironsmiths in India began using the imported iron to manufacture utensils and implements. This inevitably lowered the demand for iron produced by local smelters. Now, 10th question. What problems did the Indian textile industry face in the early years of its development? Answer. The textile industry faced problems in the following ways. The first way is it was difficult for the Indian textile to compete with the less expensive textile which was imported from Britain. Second is in most countries governments supported industrialization by imposing heavy duties on imports. This eliminated competition and protected newly born industries, but the colonial government in India refused such protection to local industries. And the last point is, however, during the First World War, when textile imports from Britain declined, Indian factories were called upon to produce cloth for military supplies. This boosted the cotton production factory in India. Now, last question, question number 11. What helped TISCO expand steel production during the First World War? Its answer is it was during the First World War in 1914 that the British steel produced by the industries was fulfilling the war needs of Europe. The import of British steel declined in India. TISCO was able to fill this gap. At the same time, it was producing shells and cartridge wheels for fulfilling the war needs of Britain. This was also the time when railways were expanding in the country. The government turned to TISCO for the supply of rails. By 1990, the colonial government was purchasing about 90% of the steel that was manufactured by TISCO. Now, thank you.